7 days of rest and sacred renewal. The 5th annual global event for the healing and thriving of Earth and all her inhabitants. During the first 7 days of the new year, we unite around the world to renew ourselves and our sacred bonds with each other and with all of life, with uncompromising commitment to living the truth of who we are. We rebirth ourselves, individually and collectively, as wise and loving stewards of creation. Together, we lay the foundations and prepare for a new era of love and wisdom in action.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Rest in Resonance. This is day 7. Oh my gosh. And our theme today is celebration. And this is our offering, Gary and I. Gary, if you bring your camera on, I'd love to have you next to me. This is our offering into the 7 days of rest and sacred renewal, which is a global initiative. And people all around the world have been participating, offering their gifts, really taking this time to have uncompromised commitment to living the truth of who we are. I love that. Like, that's it. Here we are. And we can take it forward, not just in these 7 days, but really every step we take. And if we falter for a moment, we just choose again. We don't waste any time. Gary, I'm so excited that you have been able to share your love so freely. And it's only just like the little beginning of what's actually available. So thank you, Gary, for sharing your heart and being so present and so much in your own rest in sacred renewal. Yeah. And thank you, everyone, for joining us, for taking this time out of your day to really drop into this place of deeper resonance with ourselves and each other and with this life. Yeah. Yay. Yay.
You know, I almost spoke from the place I started this journey on 8 days ago, which was the first bubble of impulse to want to say, right? But now I notice that if I feel my feet, that the place from here down to my feet wasn't speaking. So now I'm dropped into awareness of my feet as like every molecule, no molecule left alone, right? Or,
Untouched
untouched, right?
Yeah.
So I love this phrase that I just want to reiterate it. That was from the video that we just saw. Rebirthing ourselves lovingly and collectively. And I think I got the last part, as stewards for the birthing of a new era, something like that, right?
Yeah.
That script, I actually want Jan to take that script and put it in the chat, because the way that was written, with every word so intentional, that it deserves to be unpacked and felt in body, mind, heart, and soul. Because we so see videos, and you notice how our awareness of what actually is going in, it's kind of like water on dry earth. It just goes past, it doesn't go in the ground, right? And we're so inured by a barrage of garbage of content that wasn't intended for life. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't created for uplifting or generating or inspiring wholeness, right? The holo movement, that great movement that's happening now that I love, I'm trying on. What if we all agreed that the movement we're in is those that recognize we're all one? Those who recognize there's only one thing. So I just want to look at that script as seeing very beginnings of really what rest and resonance is all about. That's it. That's why when I met Shelley and Jan, something said you got to do something every day as my own healing practice. So I just want to say thank you for this incredible opportunity this has been. And we are going to go on a ride today. It's a beautiful celebration ride. A lot of fun to do today and share and experience.
Hey, Gary, I'll just say one thing that I know has happened for me, and most likely for the people who have been joining us, is that we're actually listening in a deeper way as a result of the way that you've been inviting us in. So even watching that video, and we've seen it every day if you've been with us every day, but every day there's something deeper in the feeling that the listening provides. And I love what Jeff said yesterday. If we can't feel our values, then we can't live them. And we're really being invited through this heightening of our listening to actually feel what matters. So thank you for that. And we are listening deeper.
Oh, what a beautiful, that is beautiful what you just said. Well, so let's go.
Let's go.
All right. I want to bring in, let's bring in Julie so we can enjoy this. And actually, this is the kind of thing where I like the, oh, let me be an open-hearted man. This is a body, heart, mind, and soul experience. And the song was written as a chant by Jason Schulman. Oh, let me open. Just remember, prayers sung or prayers with wings. This began as a prayer in Jason's heart, and we expanded it into a rock song. Which is so not me, in terms of what I'm known for. Enjoy it. It's called Oh, Let Me Open.
And Gary, before we do it, this is our attunement, right? This is our opportunity to feel the bottom of our feet, come into like deep relationship. And we're choosing to do it not in a meditative state, but in a joyous state, right? All right.
Prayers to God.
I have prayed to you in every way that I can. I speak to you in shouts and whispers. Oh, please, won't you show me your plan? Open in my dreams. Oh, let me open in my pain. I know you are there. I know you are there. I listen. Oh, let me open in my dreams. Oh, let me open in my pain. I know you are there. I know you are there. I listen. Time to stop, no place to go. My heart is strong when I hear you sing. No more yesterdays, no more tomorrows. I want to learn to let things be. I want to know you in my dreams, know you in my pain. I want to call out your name again and again.
I listen.
I call out your name again and again. I call out your name again and again. I call out your name again and again. I'll never leave you. Oh, I call out your name. I call out your name. I call out your name. I call out your name.
Gary, I didn't know you were a rocker, man.
Give me a shot at it. I love doing it when it's called for.
I hope you were all just dancing or stretching or just letting more love and more light in. You probably had a fun time watching us all bleed.
I wanted to dance with you, Julie. You know, it's just like, oh, let's just, and we've never shared this publicly. And it's sort of, when it's used for its purpose, it's so effective. It's so effective. Thank you, Jason. If you see this, thank you, Jason, for your unbridled commitment to people's awakening, and the work and the life that you do is so beautiful. And this album was a privilege to create for you and with you. So if this is ever seen by you, just thank you for giving us that gorgeous opportunity to share the joy of union with God, which is something we're very familiar with. So just wanted to say that to you, Jason. Okay.
Beautiful. I don't have the run of show, Gary. I don't know what's next.
All right. Well, that's it.
Having too much fun.
Yeah. So I just wanted Julie to presence herself before we do the next experience. We're not going to talk long. I just want you to bring, I just want to say that when we're not pivoting to Julie at the moment, but why Julie is here is her capacity to see the whole and the good of the whole, and her ability to synthesize what's happening at the level that Barbara Marx Hubbard was. And no accident, you were working with her for many years. You're holding space for the capacity to feel the palpable oneness of it all in a way that strengthens my capacity to recognize who I am and what my role is in serving that. So our relationship of the last months has refined me into seeing the whole through your eyes, which is giving me the chance to have a direct experience of it. I've never said that before, but that's why you're here. Let's celebrate that.
Oh, wow. That was just beautiful. And it's recorded so I can receive it again and again. Thank you. That was beautiful. I had this moment you were talking about, before the 8 days, like how do you move from here, and now you're moving to here, and Gary, this whole experience, I'll say more later, but what moved me when you said that was how you have been such a direct channel of source consciousness through your music for decades. And it's kind of like this part of you is now waking and opening, going, oh, I'm that channel, and I could do it in voice and presence too, because you have been a channel through your music for decades, and it's been such a beautiful, integral part of this whole container that Teresa and you have created, and this direct experience of wholeness, of the divine coming through these 8 days. It's been exquisite. So I'm really happy to be here with both of you, and so honored and loving so many of our people joining us. When I see your names, there's so many people I know in the chat. I don't stop and read chat because I can't multitask like that. But when I see people's names coming across, so many friends out there. So it's such a privilege to be here and to share this with everyone today and this entire 8 weeks. So thank you.
All right, so I'm really glad that I have this next experience to be able to help me receive what you just said to me. So I need some assimilation time for that receiving. So let's go to that place. Yeah, I'm going to bring it in. So you guys chat for a moment. I'm going to get my PowerPoint.
Chat for a moment. It's like silence.
Oh.
It's like, yeah.
I know. I was just going to say, I loved what you just said. This reflection of something that's opened up more and more in Gary. Gary, is this your?
Sorry. I'm sorry about that. That's a little bit of messiness. Apologized. Hold on.
That's okay. That trusting that the voice and the presence is as powerful of a transmission as all of this glorious, music that he's created, over time. And just, it's been such a pleasure to actually feel it happening, feeling the field dropping more deeply, in that trust that we can just be still, or we can just breathe, and we can take it in even deeper. And so, yeah.
So this piece came from the depths of the mud that we were in the summer of 2020. And the final cue of Thrive had to be created, and it was all imbuing this intention that Foster and Kimberly were wrapping up in the second sequel to Thrive, which was, we can do this. And that was infused with that affirmation, that knowing, without a shred of a molecule of anything out of alignment with, we can do this. And it was during the worst part of the summer politically, country, and I realized that the only way that I could create music that would support that and work as medicine for whenever they'd see it, I had to bring skin in the game. And so in a way that I never have, I just started walking every day. I slept an hour every more. I cleaned up my diet. I meditated, and over about a course of a couple of weeks, I came up with the idea and ran it past Foster. And he knew, because he's so amazing, he knew right away. He said, that's it, And then with my partner, arranged it for orchestra. There's something about this track that helps me feel the soundtrack of the triumph story that said we can do this. And even musically, there's cliches in it. And I think that's one of the reasons why it works. It's like a synthesis of all the superhuman action-adventure movies. It brings forward the superhero story that we're in the middle of, right? And it allows us to be the protagonist of this superhero story called, am I strong enough to be coherent on every scale with every molecule of my being? So as you hear this music, only look at the visuals if it helps you. Don't rely on it. Track where you're hearing so that the eyes don't close your heart in your hearing. And if you need to close your eyes to have deeper heart hearing, by all means do that. You should monitor the gas to air ratio of seeing and hearing. And sometimes it undermines the hearing if you don't take awareness of it. Okay, enough here. Here we go. This is the moment we're in. Imagine. We can't create heaven on earth without imagining it and vibrating at that frequency.
I love how that whole cosmic experience ended in bringing it right down into that last image of we here. It's like, boom, landed. Thank you.
Mm. You're muted, Gary.
Thank you, Teresa, for teaching me how to hold back and to wait for my feet to speak. So even now, I want you to take the ball now and do your thing, and then we'll turn it to Julie after yours, Teresa. But I am I'm transformed by the sharing of that with you all.
Mm. Mm. The triumph, you feel that every time. I know, Gary, because you, like you said, in order to create that piece of music, right? And this is so relevant to where we are right now in our journey. So I'm going to do something different than I was going to do. I'm just going to stay right here. Is that because you actually chose to engage in a way that your being could lift to that frequency, not think in your mind that you could make something. And that's what we're talking about here, is that we're talking about putting our attention on our intentions and tending to them and nourishing ourselves, right? We're taught and cultivating what it is that we're really wanting our lives to be, not just being bombarded by life, but actually choosing in every moment to make a choice to show up with greater love and care and compassion for ourselves and for everyone else, right? And we've been doing that over these days. And that's a perfect example. And so how you feel, Gary, when you hear that song is reflecting to you that choice that you made, as hard as it was, to get out of old patterns and to like really commit to something, that's what happens on the other side of it. It is this triumph that lives on and on and on because you did it. You said yes, and you followed through, and you went through the pain. And I've watched you since then actually be dismantled into the place that you are now. And I just want to encourage everyone that's here, like that's what we take forward in this moment, is that we've taken hopefully a little time to think about our intentions and what we want to cultivate. We've thought about ways in which we can nourish ourselves, right? That we can tend the garden of our lives in a good way. And we've been thinking about communion, our communion with life and with each other and with this community that's growing all around the world, the islands of coherence. We are a huge force on the planet. And when we can resonate with that, we can relax and open and trust that something's really possible in this field. And then we share our gifts. We share what comes from making those moment-to-moment choices to stay committed and stay responding in a way that reflects our values and the life that we want to see. And in that, we get to celebrate every day, even when we fall down. Even when, I can't drive that one home enough, because we have our passionate intent and our behavior gets conflicted because we're not in the moment, right? We're not in our feet, we're not in our bodies. And so for a moment, an old response comes. But the moment that we realize that response came, we just get to make a new choice in the next moment, and no energy is wasted. Right? No energy is wasted wishing it was different or wishing I had done it differently, or any of the loops that take us out of right here, right now. So I want to bless this journey that we've been on, rebirthing ourselves, making that choice, nourishing ourselves in all of the ways that we do it, cultivating the garden of our lives, opening to commune with that which matches the frequency that you're choosing to live, and sharing the energy and the love that comes from that, and valuing yourself first and foremost, and the things that you value, That's what you put your attention on. And then here we are in celebration, and we have Julie. We have Julie with us to take us into that celebration even more. And Julie, you've been with us every day. You've been with us every day. And so you, along with us, we've been experiencing this deeper dropping in together. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for you in my life and Gary in my life and all of you out there in my life. Like, I am enriched by this field.
Totally. And I thank you for the opportunity to be grateful and celebrate. I want you to set this up, Julie, before we do our conversation with you. How do you want to set up the gratitude video here?
Oh, well, if anyone tuned in yesterday at the end of our time together, we talked about this surprise. So Wednesday night, Gary just sends me a text and says, I'm thinking about this or this. What do you think for which day? And all of a sudden I had this another unlayering of this epiphany of the genius of Gary Malkin. It's like I was blown away. So for how many years has this been out, Gary?
11 years.
11 years. So I remember 11 years ago when I found this video, like literally I saw this video before a lot of people were watching it. And that time I had this page on Facebook called Your Beautiful Mindful Life. And I saw this video called A Good Day. It wasn't really gratitude back then. And I think the title of it is still A Good Day by Brother David Stendal-Ross. And I was so moved. It was such a visceral experience for me, hearing his voice, seeing these images, and of course, the soundtrack. You want to say something and jump in? I want to share one more thing.
No, I just want to get to it because I want to have a chance to talk to you about the world according to Julie. So let's play the video and then we'll move into that because I want to hear you.
Okay.
I want to talk with you, okay? Kaylin, Thank you for playing the video.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, has unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
So I want to hear the world, the field, whatever it is that Julie wants to share at this moment, honoring Shelley Yan, whatever it is, we're all ears and heart for you.
Let's just breathe into that message for a minute. Just really rest. Rest in the resonance of Brother David's voice, and the exquisite soundtrack and contribution of Gary that brings it to life for us. And just breathe in that message to open your heart, and the blessings will flow through you. Just open your heart and the blessings will flow through you. Thank you, Gary. And thank you, Teresa. The video excited me because I just have felt so connected to you and your work for years and didn't even know you. And that was the epiphany on Wednesday night when you texted me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Gary, you created my favorite, all-time favorite video ever. And I gift that to people. I share it and share it and share it, and I gift it to people. I send it to people all the time.
So you're the
As a
reason 40
message.
million people have heard it.
I feel like I'm a proud mom of some of that anyway, midwifing that, the birth of that and getting it out into the world. It's been gorgeous. So, and as I do, Teresa, you did such a beautiful job weaving in the themes of the 7 days and the 7 days of rest and sacred renewal from rebirthing and nourishing and cultivating and communing and sharing and valuing and celebrating. And just in the spirit of celebration, I just want to start with just a deep, deep gratitude for Gary and Teresa saying yes. Your ability to create a production that's so quality is astounding. We're having this visceral experience through technology because both of you and Kaylin, thank you, have the capacity to just hold this incredible field for us and create this experience of rest and resonance through the music, through the words, through the silence, through the attunement, through the bottom of our feet. Teresa's reminded us every day. And really, this really has been, secondly, an incredible curation of music and presence with amazing guests every day, bringing just this light and love through so palpably in every day. So thank you for that curation, and thank you for the content creation, Kaylin and Gary and Teresa. All of you have played such an important role in this experience. And Gary gets excited because I introduced him to Jan and Shelley, and I can't believe you haven't known them before now. The 5 years of the 7 days of rest have been an exquisite journey, and I'm so proud and happy to call Jan and Shelley just such close friends. I love and adore them, and I just wanted to presence this 7 days of rest and sacred renewal this year in a way that the intention of setting aside 7 days is this blueprint, the template of nature herself. And Shelley received this, if you listened the first day, she received it in a vision. And she's so in tune with Gaia herself and with all life. And so her life's work has been that. And so to just truly listen and take a chance that this idea that we would rest for 7 days is so significant that she devotes months every year to bringing this experience forward. And it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm really so pleased that we can all be a part of it. This year I sat back and participated more than created. So this is my 1 day of really active participation in it. I've received for the first time instead of creating my own event. And so I'm so happy that Gary said yes and created this experience for all of us, because that is what I've received. The only thing on my calendar for 7 days has been this hour. So I'm in such deep gratitude for that. And in that essence of celebrating, I just want to bring in a couple pieces, because I think it's really important that everyone know that these 7 days are just a week in the life of us, of we, of the whole entirety of creation. And whole systems health and healing is an important part of all of our journey right now, right here, right now. Like to really bring into our conscious awareness in these days, that we are here to contribute to the health and well-being of the planet and all life that we share right here. And so Jan and Shelley have created this beautiful unifying framework called Codes for a Healthy Earth. And someone can put in the chat, it's just codes.earth. Codes.earth. Don't go there now. Stay with us during this hour. And afterwards, as next best steps, there's this beautiful framework for all of us to continue bringing the rest and the resonance and this field of coherence, these islands of coherence, continuing to raise our vibrational level, raise our vibrational imprint on the planet to contribute to the health and the healing of the whole, beginning with us as individuals, saying yes, like Gary said yes to the Thrive video. He had to say yes personally to the walk and make some changes before that beautiful masterpiece could come through for that film. So there's a blueprint, there's a template, there's a how-to guide right there on codes.earth to how to do that individually, and also how to do it collectively and for the whole planet. So how do we create this regenerative field for us socially and ecologically, so that we're not only focused on ourself, but we really shift into a whole worldview and understand what it means to take responsibility for the health and the quality of the water and the earth, the soil, and vitalizing food and healthy shelter. And there's so much more on that website. So I encourage you all to go there and just celebrating what this week is about. We celebrate what this life is about and how we work together. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to do that. And I just want to drop in two more things. I want to drop in one thing of my experience of this week, and then we'll go into celebration and bring Gary and Teresa back on. But my experience of this week has been the embodiment of the Rumi poem. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. When my soul, I think it says when the soul, but when my soul lays down in the grass, the world is so full. It's too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. That has been my experience of this week. It's just really feeling that fullness of life where there really is no need for words. We're in the field, and the field is informing as we're informing it. It's this beautiful reciprocity of love and light, and just this incredible, exquisite pulsing of coherence for each of us individually and for those islands together. It's like I feel so wrapped. I feel like our planet has been wrapped in love this week. And knowing that just this 1 hour has wrapped so many of us, there's also dozens and dozens and dozens of other ceremonies, events, gatherings, meditations, just so much wrapping and tending to the love. I just see us just wrapping a little bow around our beautiful planet this week, feeling into the coherence that has clearly lifted all of us. And so Gary and Teresa, there's one more thing I want to bring in and invite you in. But when you go to 7daysofrest.org, you'll see it in the chat again. When you go to the site, every day is filled with this beautiful schedule, but there's this writing, Shelley has gone in and really channeled the essence of these themes and brought through some questions for you to journal with. And every day, if you go scroll clear to the bottom of the page on the website, there are questions. And she encourages you to dance it out, draw, paint, do the art, do whatever. And at the bottom, scroll down to the bottom of that page and keep going. There's questions. And there's one here that I felt like was reverberating for all of us all week anyway. And I just really want to drop this question in because it's been sticking with me and it's for today. And that is, how do you experience the ways in which life celebrates you? So Gary and Teresa, I'd love to just bring you in here for a continued conversation on that. How do you experience the ways in which life, with a capital L, celebrates you? I mean, we all think, let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate this communion. Let's celebrate this nourishment. Let's celebrate. But what ways do we experience life celebrating us? What a profound twist.
You know, I'm moved to share one of my favorite quotes that I use in almost everything. John Ortiz wrote a book called The Tao of Music, and he had this quote that I love, and it says, music is the sound of celebrating life. Of life celebrating itself. Music is the sound of life celebrating itself. I just love that. I have to say, Julie, this transmission, this embodiment of what you're sharing is such a nourishing delight to witness and experience. You're you're fulfilling exactly what I said is one of your great gifts and talents. And thank you for being the one that catalyzed all this and then allowed yourself to receive the benefits of what ripples it's created. So there's so much integrity to that. And such a beautiful way to receive how it's been affecting people. And I just want to say thank you for that. You know, we are, because there's other experiences, I have to say, truth in advertising here, you said the hour. This has kind of been migrating to an hour and a half every day. And today there will be no more than an hour and a half. I'm doing my promise as best I can. But I do want to give a chance for Teresa and I to talk a little bit, and then we'll go into the next audio, which is a transformance from Sarah McCrum. So, Teresa.
Well, I would add a response to that. I think that's such a beautiful question. And what came to me many, many years ago, I had an experience of like God making love to me on the beach, like the beloved arrives just with me, right? And so when I'm tuned into that, everything that comes into my life is this beloved. It's this partnership with life, and it's showing me in every moment something glorious when I'm present and when I'm right here. And I feel that it's like it brings me beautiful people or situations or challenges, like whatever it is that I need. I know that life is presenting that to me so that I can keep opening my heart in the face of whatever I face. So I love that question because it kind of puts you into that partnership with life that is so true. And in every moment, you know, it's this exchange. So
can you say that question again, Julie, just so it's fresh off on our hearts?
Yeah. How do you experience the ways in which life celebrates you?
So FYI, how I know is the last 8 days being in this context with you guys. I needed like a 2x4. I needed like because I was just pushing it away with such habitual ease that I forgot how to fully take in and experience it as no other. I love that phrase, even each other loses something in the translation. So this is the experience of how I'm feeling that celebration now.
Yeah, beautiful.
Shall we dance to the next one?
Yeah.
Or do we need to have a moment of silence just to be here for a second?
Yeah, let's do that. I think let's all just be right here together in this moment. And
Feel each other. Let's feel each other. Sometimes we feel the music and get overwhelmed with the music and the imagery, and we feel God and we feel life and we feel source. And we all know we're right here with each other. Let's feel each other in this island of coherence. Celebrate each other.
We can't hear the people we can't feel.
Mm.
Mm. So
I really want us to keep noticing how our listening has changed.
It's exactly right.
I know for me, I'm not really looking at the screen much anymore in these last kind of 2 days. And I've been like really listening, like my whole body's listening, but it almost sounds like the words are inside my head and the notes and the music. And it's such a different experience of listening. It is, it is the resonance of the words that I'm feeling as I'm hearing, it really has. So I really want to invite us, as we kind of go into the days, that we just notice that we're listening in a deeper way to what life has to share.
And as we are about to experience another opportunity, that Sarah McCrum and I created this improvisationally in the studio. And then the filmmaker that we hired put it to images. I really want to encourage this new listening that Teresa just talked about as having encoded in it a knowing of when the listening is lifting from your heart and body and moving into this region, which is what happens when the visuals take over. It's just what happens to the linear discriminative capacity through the optic nerve. It's just the way it works physiologically. So just allow yourself to not see the images. You'll always be able to hear this, obtain it, experience it, get to know it. It's one of those things, if you hear it again and again, the wisdom is the marriage of whatever happened through Sarah and I that became something larger than the sum of the parts. And there's something transmissive. And all we knew when we sent it to the studio was, how about if we do Gaia Speaks? And this is what came through her. The author of Love Money, Money, Love You embodied her imagining of what if Gaia would speak, how would she speak through her? So you're about to see it and feel it and experience it. We'll see you on the other side.
As I look across my body, your planet, your home, I hear your voices, the cries for help, the grief, and the sadness of loss, the confusion, the ignoring, I see people who don't want to look. I see people who feel everything. I see children who are confused. They don't understand what's happening. I see old people who've lived all their life in nature, wondering what went wrong. I see people in power turning their hearts cold so they don't have to see. And I see people in power with tears and openness and willingness to change. I see the constraints you've placed around yourselves, the compromises, the challenges, and I see the beautiful expressions of love, the people who create small paradises in the hidden corners of my body. I see it all, and I know you, every one of you. And I want to share a message with you. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever your viewpoint, you stand in this moment of time before a great opportunity. Every one of you knows in your heart the language of love. Every one of you knows in your heart the language of beauty. So I call you to touch into that love that you know. You know it so well. And to take it as your role, your work, your contribution to add to my beauty. Because you are an expression of me. So whether it be in your houses and your gardens, your little patch of land, or your big company, you are charged with the responsibility to create beauty place of love in your heart. So this is simple, it's step by step. It's every day. It's every moment. Look around you. Are you seeing beauty? Is there something you can clean up? Something you can grow? Is there something you can give to someone else? Is there a little moment of sharing? A tiny touch? An instant of beauty? That's all it takes. One moment and another and another and another. You know how to do this. You know so well. Every single one of you.
David White says, wow, what a big dose of love that was. What's your
So beautiful.
experience?
Mine is resonating in the words, you know how to do this. You know so well. You know how to do this. You know so well. Let's celebrate that. Just thank you. That was exquisite.
Thank you, Sarah. We've had some beautiful pieces, and just know we're sending our love out to you for all you do. Yeah.
We actually did a live transformance yesterday on her world, and mostly outside of the world. And we'd never done it. It was 40 minutes long, complete live and improvised. It was quite the high wire experience. But what I learned from it was these molecular experiences of coherence become much more important than the notes that, like the musical part of me would go like, oh, what a cliche. Oh my God, that's so stupid. But there was something deeper going on, which was a live experience with 150 people, whatever, on the journey with us. So I couldn't descend into a negative narcissistic ride that I've spent most of my life doing, like going on those rabbit holes of picking things apart. I had to go to a deeper place where the molecules were going through a change that could see there was something much bigger happening than Gary's musical critical mind, right? So coherence is it's like the imaginal cells are coherence, and they're more than 50% now in my body for the first time. I feel like the imaginal cells are on the we, on the other side of the mouth. It's like, whoa. And this experience has given me an awareness of that these 8 days. It's really true. I've advanced in my ability to feel, the capacity for me to feel when I'm out, when I'm not in coherence. It's just a beautiful thing. So thank you, all of you, for holding space for that.
Gary, you know, once the imaginal cells reach a particular number, right, then they proliferate in a kind of quantum scale. So, you know, you kind of like pass the point of no return. We are all actually, right? We're the imaginal cells, and we are more than halfway there, right? Like there's a proliferation that's occurring. And as we start to tune into our own unique song, and we resonate with that, we connect with all the other imaginal cells that are vibrating at this new level. And it's what's going to just create a just explosion of change on the planet. Yeah.
And that ties directly into this phrase that's been coming through me. And every time I say it, welcome to the listening revolution, but it's more like there is a destiny that music, the entity of generative music and sound, there is a destiny that is part and parcel with the ascendancy of the divine feminine. There's that ascendancy is the journey that, in fact, I think that music is the divine feminine expressing herself. You know, there's this listening, there's a direct relationship, the ascendancy of the feminine and our remembering of our listening as primary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then we walk into a room and we become a tuning fork that hears the language of resonance, and whether it resonates with my authentic path, not better or worse, just does it resonate in all of me or only part of me? And music helps us, like these kinds of experiences help us become clearer tuning forks. Mm-hmm. That's the revelation I'm having.
It's so healing. It's so foundationally a part of this healing revolution that we're having on the planet, of coming back to the whole. It's kind of like music as the vibrational frequency brings that field of wholeness to our awareness. Like you can't have music in singularity. Like you can't have a single note and feel what we feel. It's like bringing, I don't know. I'm not a musician. I'm from a family of musicians, and my grandfather was a piano tuner. I love that because I have his tuning fork. So I have this great appreciation for it. But so I'm probably not making sense with my language, but the ability of music is this completeness. Mm-hmm. It's like the completeness of sound. It's like the wholeness of our being and our presence that uplifts and really, this resonance with music is a big part of the imaginal souls within us and the imaginal souls with us as these islands of coherence are finding each other, right? It's like it helps bring us into that frequency. And it helps when we forget. It helps us remember very quickly when we forget.
There's this quote, there's this chat I just want to bring up in the present moment. It's interesting. I've had a tendency to avoid deep music since it brings such intense emotional feelings, usually of sadness. And I just want to say to that person, and we all have that aversion impulse because of the way we have to acclimate ourselves in daily life to a vibrational frequency to function that is so seemingly incompatible with the depth of emotion of that nature, right? But what we've all learned is that when you're present with what is, your presence and your love emulsify it into the ability to be present fully in the here and now.
Mm.
So I just want to encourage you to, it's like that first impulse to, oh, I don't want to go there. That actually is not the voice you want to trust. You want to be with how it takes you into this feeling and be grateful you can feel the response that it's having on you. And I just want to say one last thing before we celebrate this last tune. Celebrating the response it has in you. Yeah.
Mm.
I just want to say that moment of silence, Julie, you reminded me what Sarah has reminded me. When I felt the transmission of the energy in Sarah before I added any music, it was the first time I could feel the molecules of coherence transfer to me without having it to be music.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you help us all enrich the beauty of the listening to the silence, it brings home this awareness that the music that I've been creating, like you said it gorgeously, Teresa, it's my quest to experience that in the yearning of it. And like Yumi says, the longing is the answer. I bring it towards me in my feelings so that it's coming towards me in multiple dimensions, right? But ultimately, they're training wheels and delightful experiences we choose to have. But they're meant to entrain us to feel the richness of the beauty of the silence. Mm-hmm. It opens our ears to hear the richness of the silence. And that's a big shift to make from the world we currently live in. Have compassion for what it takes to transition from being out in the middle of Manhattan to the center of your good heart. Yeah. We need tools for that. And that's what this is. It's not about depending upon them.
Yeah.
Or, so I just want
Gary,
to
can I say one more thing to just pull that forward? Pull the thread forward even more with the fear of doing the music because it takes me into the emotion. And this morning I found this quote, renewal, we're on sacred renewal, right? Rest and renewal. Renewal is what happens when you realize that some of the stuff you've been carrying around doesn't matter. And I loved that this morning. It took me into this place. And so I would just want to introduce this by my week, and actually I've had 7 weeks of this rest and renewal, very intentionally in my life, but it's just been emptying and emptying and emptying and emptying so that I'm just in a place of receiving the sacred renewal. And so the music that takes you into the emotion can help clear out the unresolved, the undigested, the things that no longer matter, and really clear that out for us so we could be this clear vessel of pure love and light in the world and really receive these blessings from that gratitude video, like receive the blessings, open our heart. So the music does take us to the emotional place. And that's a gift if we allow it to clear and resolve and open deeper and wider and farther. And so thank you for saying that. I love that. And I loved that quote this morning that renewal is really letting go of what doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mm. In the interest of honoring people's time, I'm going to shorten the next piece. I'll fade it out a little earlier so we have time for the slides and closing comments. But Teresa, would you like to go out with that music and do the slides now, and then we can maybe complete the last piece, which is a chanting, loving.
Yeah. I think we should. And I want to start by I put links in the chat already, and I'll go back again and do that after I share the slides so that you'll have them and you can grab them while we're playing that last piece of music. But the first link that I'm going to put in the chat right now, I would love for you all to copy it if you can. And if you're willing, we would like to invite everyone to send a little gift over to Kaylin, who has shown up all 7 days.
And that means an hour before we even start.
And he's the one who's like cueing the music and the video and like everything that made this feel grace-filled, right? From a production standpoint, has been Kaylin behind the scenes, and he's volunteered his time. But I would love for us, even if it's just a little bit, his PayPal email is there, and I'm going to put it in again. But if we can all just like offer a little gift to say thank you. So important that we have this kind of support. And both Kaylin and his partner Ian have uplifted the entire field of these online events for everyone that they've been participating in, the musicians, the speakers, everything. So Kaylin, thank you so much. We love you so, so much. And we can all, if you just want to send a little gift or just send love his way, whatever that is. So,
I love that you included that. And because the kind of seva is that I'm learning what seva feels and looks like because of Ian and Kaylin. And Kaylin, you've been amazing. Thank you, brother.
yeah. So I'm going to share some slides really quickly. And then I'll put those links in again. And I'm going to start, Julie, with yours, a link to your website we put in there. And do you just want to share a little bit about if somebody goes to their site, what are the things that they could really touch into first that would bring them into your world?
Oh, well, thank you. So there's like 3 or 4 websites on this screen, and how most people find me and enter into my world is through the Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected. And you can find that on the allthingsconnected.org or juliekroll.com or the drjulieshow.com. So there's a link for that there. We've been going for 8.5 years with some of the most amazing voices, a lot of them that you've had in the videos, Marianne Williamson, and a lot of the videos that Gary's has shared. We've brought those voices to the ear to hear the message and to share the good news of what's happening on the planet. And then there's goodofthewhole.org, which is a nonprofit where we're really here to support and uplift evolutionary leaders and change agents and those who are here to really cultivate our ability to live for the good of the whole. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to do a little, instead of what to get into first, I'm going to do a anticipatory thing of what to anticipate coming up really soon, because Gary and I are co-creating, and if you've loved what you're experiencing during this week, the rest and resonance, we're working on a weekly podcast and some more programming, and that will be coming up in the next month or 2. And so, Gary, I don't know if you wanted to release that, get the cat out of the bag now, but I'm so excited to just bring this experience to people every week with incredible programming coming up. So thanks for sharing that, Teresa. And yeah, thank you all. Yeah, if you want to stay on the email, juliekroll.email.com is a good way to get on the email list so you can hear about the podcast that will be coming up featuring Gary and Gary's music and his genius. So it's juliekroll.email.com or any one of those websites you can sign up for an email.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go just to websites instead of the slides for the rest of this. 7 days of rest and sacred renewal. There's so much there. You can click across the top for the days, and you can click across the side to get to the different parts. And somebody was saying they couldn't find the reflections that you talked about, Julie. So right here, the bottom of this kind of sidebar, you can click on that and you'll go right to the bottom where those reflections are. But there's so much more. And if you click on the calendar and you expand it, you actually really get to see like the sharing and the gifting and the events that have been happening. Extraordinary group, people all around the world really dropping into this deep place of rest and sacred renewal. So definitely spend some time there. And Wisdom of the World Wellness, Gary, your website. And I put a link, and I'm going to do this again. Gary gave a gift, and I will be sure to put this in the email with the links to the replays. And Gary, do you want to say something about this beautiful gift that you put together for everybody?
We created it for another seminar that I had done a few weeks ago, and I realized this was a beautiful sample. It's a $100 value, and we just want to give a bunch of these experiences to people. You just, for the, joining our world, you get the download, and it'll be a sample of the kinds of work that you've been seeing and hearing all these last all audio, but just would love to give you that gift, and hopefully you'll join our community officially at the end of it all. So we can co-create all this together.
Yeah. And of course, I want to invite you to go to the Islands of Coherence. We're going to be opening up to new members on January 15th during the Global Coherence Pulse, which I just asked Julie if she wanted to join us, and she said yes. So that's going to be nice to kind of bring the rest in resonance right into the pulse and carry it through.
Teresa, I want to say one thing here. This is the most phenomenal resource. And I was realizing on another level, Teresa, the whole holo movement concept is essentially dripping in the DNA of this offering, right? So this is a holo movement offering. So anyone that understands love as the basis of everything belongs in this network if you have a way of wanting to play with people who also believe that. I had to say that.
Thank you, Gary. I'm just going to say I'm also going to be offering in the spring a 3-month communal. I'm kind of calling it a mentorship because I want us to mentor each other into really living our full lives. It's called Living in the Current of Your Purpose. And so I hope that if you join into the Islands of Coherence, it'll be offered inside of there. We have monthly meditations, weekly meditations. We have all kinds of resources. So come and play with us.
Hopefully we'll be doing something also, Teresa, in that context. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to invite Julie and her work and Gary. Like we can be inside of there also as a community, deepening our cultivation together. Beautiful. So join us for the Pulse. And Julie, we're going to add you to that. I'm really super excited about that. And lastly, there is a link on the website under our archives in 2022, and I put the link in the chat, but every one of the replays is here. Links to the different people that you were exposed to. And I'll also be adding some more links. And then down at the bottom, if you want to get Gary or the Pulse or the Islands of Coherence, everything is there. We've been loading them every
And I promised we would be done by 11:30, but I'm not going to end until I do this, even just 3 or 4 minutes of this last wave.
Do it.
So we're just going to forgive us for going on. I know some people have said, you need to leave us wanting more. So I'm sorry. This is the last thing. So this is something I'm so excited about. We shared one of them before, the I Am song that was Miranda McPherson, her new Kirtan album, which will be released in the next month. And I just, as a way to celebrate it, it's a phenomenal transmission, like Streams of Grace is what it's called. And I just want us to now drop in, for those of you who are still with us, and use the power of chant, whether you can hear other people singing or not. It's always a little bit awkward with this. Still doesn't feel good to anyone to have the latency problem. So we have to find a way to not let that muzzle our voices. The way you notice how people don't say hello to each other because their masks are on, right? We have to find a way to find our eyes. We have to find our voices, even if we're quiet in our rooms. So allow this to touch you as in the way it was intended to be created, a transmission of, oh, let my heart reflect the light of the sun, right? Check it out. It's a Sufi prayer by Hazrat Inayat Khan. And there are versions to this album that either have an induction, preparing you for the receiving of the transmission, or just the piece itself. And this is beginning with the piece itself. I'll put the link on and how you can learn about the release. But I'm just going to slow down for a minute because I'm going a little too fast. Hold on. Just knowing that we want to end and respect people's time. So forgive me for being a little bit harassed. I want to just get to this. Okay, here we go. I think I'm playing it. I am playing it.
I think Kaylin has some visuals, right?
No, I'm going to, I think,
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm just going to play I'm going to do this. Here we go.
Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh. Ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Let my heart reflect thy light, Lord, as the moon reflects the light of the sun in love, always in love. Ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh. Ooh, Allah, Allah, ooh, Allah,
Mm. Leave no molecule left untouched by this love, within and without. I'm in.
I mean,
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm
Hey,
in.
thank you for indulging us. Apologies for going over, but this is the last of 2022's Rest in Resonance. I have a feeling I might do this again sometime. I know that Shelley and Jan are thinking about, they got their direction for 7 years of this, so we'll see for the 6th annual. I love you, Shelley and Jan, and I love you, Julie and Teresa and Kaylin, and everyone on this beautiful journey that we've been on. What a privilege to grow together, to learn together, to listen together, and to feel the oneness of our love together. It's just been, it's to infinity and beyond. That's where we are. We're in the middle of the imaginal cell, 51 or more percent, taking over into the quantum explosion of heart and soul coherence. And may the games begin.
Blessings, everyone. Blessings.